Hey there! Have you ever wondered what would happen if gravity suddenly stopped working for just 5 minutes? It's a crazy concept to think about, but we're going to explore it today. First off, let's talk about what gravity actually is. Essentially, it's the force that pulls objects towards each other. Without it, everything would float off into space. So, what would happen if it suddenly disappeared for a mere 5 minutes? Well, for starters, it would be chaos. Anything that wasn't anchored down, like furniture or cars, would be launched into the air and sent hurtling towards the sky. People would be bouncing around like ping-pong balls, and anything not bolted down would be swept up into the air. It would be like a crazy carnival ride, but without the safety harnesses. But that's just the beginning. Buildings, bridges, and other structures would collapse as they're no longer held in place by gravity. Planes would plummet out of the sky, unable to stay aloft without the force of gravity keeping them up. And the ocean? It would become a giant, chaotic mess, with water crashing around wildly and creating massive tidal waves. And what about us? Well, our bodies wouldn't be able to handle the sudden loss of gravity. We'd feel weightless, but also disoriented and dizzy. Our muscles and bones would become weak and brittle, as they're not used to functioning without the constant force of gravity. The effects of gravity suddenly stopping would be catastrophic and long-lasting. Even after just 5 minutes, the damage done would be extensive and take years to repair. If gravity stopped working for just 5 minutes, it would be a catastrophic event for the entire planet. The effects would be widespread and devastating, and humans would need to act quickly to survive. Firstly, without gravity, everything that is not tethered to the ground would float off into space. Buildings, vehicles, and even people would be sent hurtling towards the sky. The lack of gravity would make it nearly impossible for people to move around, and those who are outside when it happens would need to hold onto something to avoid being flung into the air. Once the initial shock wears off, humans would need to find a way to stay grounded and survive for the next 5 minutes. For those inside buildings, the lack of gravity could cause serious damage and destruction. Objects that were not secured would be sent flying around the room, potentially causing injuries or even fatalities. People would need to find a way to brace themselves and stay safe until gravity returned. For those who are outside, it would be even more difficult. Without gravity, there would be no way to stay grounded and avoid being lifted into the air. People would need to hold onto anything they could find, such as trees, poles, or other objects, to avoid being lost in space. The lack of gravity would also make it nearly impossible to breathe, as the air would quickly escape into the atmosphere. Assuming that humans are able to survive the 5 minutes without gravity, the effects would continue to be felt long after it returns. The sudden change in gravity could cause massive disruptions to the planet's tectonic plates, leading to earthquakes and other natural disasters. The lack of gravity could also disrupt the planet's atmosphere, leading to changes in weather patterns and potentially causing long-term damage to the environment. In conclusion, the thought of gravity suddenly stopping is a terrifying one. It's a force that we take for granted every day, and we don't even realize how much it affects our lives. The world as we know it would be turned upside down, quite literally, and it would take a long time to recover. It's a reminder of just how powerful and important gravity really is. If gravity were to stop working for just 5 minutes, the effects would be catastrophic and humans would need to act quickly to survive. The lack of gravity would make it nearly impossible to move or stay grounded, and the long-term effects would be felt for years to come. It's a scary thought, but it's important to be prepared for any potential disasters that could strike our planet. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more crazy, what-if, scenarios. And don't forget to let us know in the comments what you think would happen if gravity suddenly stopped.